In the beginning, the story is deceptively simple. God created the heavens and the earth. Yet, as we peel back the layers, we find contradictions, multiple voices, and echoes of myths far older than the Bible itself. Genesis begins with the grandeur of cosmic order, where God commands and creation obeys. But quickly, the tone shifts. A second account appears, one that is intimate and tactile, where God molds man from dust and breathes life into him. These two narratives don't align seamlessly, and they weren't meant to. The story of creation isn't just about how the world began, it's about how humanity has struggled to understand its origins, its purpose, and its relationship with the divine. The first story of Genesis unfolds with precision and order. Light separates from darkness, waters are divided to create sky and sea, land emerges, lush and fertile. Each day brings something new, from stars in the heavens to birds in the air and beasts on the ground. On the sixth day, humanity is created male and female together, equal in their dominion over earth. This account is poetic, almost mathematical in its symmetry. It portrays a God who is distant but powerful, speaking existence into being with the authority of a king. This narrative feels universal, as if it were meant to transcend the specific and speak to all of creation. Yet it raises questions. Why does this version emphasize structure and balance? Was it written to reflect a world yearning for order in the chaos of ancient life? As we transition to Genesis 2, the tone shifts dramatically. Here, creation is less about cosmic order and more about personal involvement. God is no longer a distant voice, but a craftsman, shaping Adam from the soil with his own hands. Adam is placed in the Garden of Eden, a paradise rich with trees and rivers, to work and care for it. Yet, something is missing: companionship. So God creates Eve, not from the earth as Adam was, but from his rib. This act carries profound symbolism, emphasizing intimacy and interdependence, but also a hierarchy. Unlike the egalitarian creation of Genesis 1, this story positions man first, with woman as a secondary creation. The narrative raises questions about gender roles and divine intent, leaving room for centuries of interpretation. These two stories, so different in tone, content, and message, exist side by side in the same sacred text. Why? Scholars suggest that Genesis is not the work of a single author, but a tapestry woven from multiple traditions. The first story, with its focus on structure and ritual, likely comes from a priestly tradition that emphasized cosmic order. The second, more human-centered narrative, reflects a Yahwist tradition that valued storytelling and moral lessons. Together, they offer two lenses on creation, one grand and universal, the other personal and specific. Their coexistence invites readers to grapple with complexity rather than seek simple answers. Long before Genesis, the people of Mesopotamia told their own creation story, the Enuma Elish. In this epic, chaos reigns, embodied by Tiamat, a serpent-like goddess of primordial waters. The gods, led by Marduk, wage war against her. When Tiamat is defeated, her body is split in two, forming the heavens and the earth. This story is violent, chaotic, and filled with divine conflict, yet its influence on Genesis is undeniable. Both stories speak of waters being tamed, light emerging from darkness, and order arising from chaos. The key difference is Genesis's rejection of divine conflict. Instead of battles among gods, creation is the work of a single, commanding voice. The Genesis account's serene portrayal of creation contrasts sharply with the chaos of Enuma Elish. But even Genesis cannot escape the shadow of chaos entirely. The opening verses describe the earth as formless and void, with darkness covering the deep. This imagery echoes the primordial chaos of older myths, suggesting that even in a narrative of order, chaos is the foundation. Perhaps this duality reflects an ancient truth. Creation is not the absence of chaos, but the act of bringing order to it. This tension between chaos and order lies at the heart of many creation stories, not just in the Bible, but across cultures. Across cultures, water holds a central place in creation myths. In Egyptian mythology, the god Atum rises from the chaotic waters of Nun to begin creation. In Hindu tradition, the universe begins in a cosmic ocean. Water represents both life and danger, potential and destruction. In Genesis, God's first act is to separate the waters, creating sky and sea. This act of division transforms chaos into cosmos, reflecting humanity's ancient struggle to harness the power of nature. Water's dual role as a source of life and a symbol of chaos resonates across millennia, a reminder of our deep connection to the natural world. In Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki play a pivotal role in humanity's origin. These gods, burdened by their labor, create humans to serve as their workers. Molded from clay and imbued with divine essence, humanity is born not to rule, but to serve. This utilitarian view contrasts sharply with Genesis, where humans are granted dominion over the earth. Yet the motif of shaping humanity from clay appears in both traditions, suggesting a shared cultural fascination with the act of creation. These parallels raise questions. Did Genesis adapt older stories? And if so, why did it reject the idea of humans as servants? The tree of knowledge stands at the heart of Eden, its forbidden fruit a symbol of temptation and choice. When Eve eats the fruit, she gains knowledge of good and evil, a gift that comes at a price. This act is often framed as humanity's fall, but it can also be seen as an awakening. By eating the fruit, Adam and Eve step into a world of moral complexity, embracing the burdens and freedoms of choice. The serpent, often vilified, becomes an agent of transformation. Was Eden a paradise or a cage? Did the serpent offer rebellion or liberation? The serpent in Eden is perhaps the most enigmatic figure in Genesis. Portrayed as a deceiver, it tempts Eve to eat the forbidden fruit. Yet, serpents in ancient cultures were often symbols of wisdom and transformation. In Hindu mythology, the serpent Kundalini represents spiritual energy, coiled at the base of the spine, waiting to be awakened. Could the serpent in Genesis symbolize more than just temptation? By offering knowledge, it sets humanity on a path of self-awareness and independence. This act, seen as a betrayal by some, might instead be a necessary step in humanity's journey toward understanding itself. The expulsion from Eden marks a profound moment in the Genesis narrative. Adam and Eve, now clothed and aware of their nakedness, are cast out into a world of toil and pain. Yet, this fall is also the beginning of their autonomy. Outside Eden, they are free to build, create, and shape their destiny. This transition mirrors the human experience, leaving the safety of childhood for the challenges of adulthood. Was Eden ever meant to last? Or was it always a temporary sanctuary, a place where humanity could awaken before stepping into the broader world? Jewish folklore introduces Lilith as Adam's first wife, created from the same earth as him. Unlike Eve, Lilith refuses to submit to Adam's authority, choosing exile over subjugation. Her story, though omitted from Genesis, has endured as a symbol of independence and defiance. Lilith's erasure from mainstream texts reflects a patriarchal shift in how gender roles were perceived. While Eve embodies compliance, Lilith represents rebellion. Together, they form two sides of the same coin, challenging us to reconsider the narratives of submission and equality in the story of creation. Eve's creation from Adam's rib carries deep symbolism. On one level, it emphasizes intimacy, suggesting that man and woman are deeply connected. Yet, it also reinforces a hierarchy, with woman depicted as secondary. This contrasts with Genesis 1, where man and woman are created together, equal in their dominion over earth. The two accounts reflect differing views on gender and relationships. Was Eve meant to complement Adam or to serve him? This question has shaped theological and cultural debates for centuries, influencing how societies view gender roles. The serpent's role in Genesis has been interpreted in countless ways. In Gnostic traditions, the serpent is not a villain, but a liberator. By encouraging Eve to eat the fruit, it offers humanity the gift of knowledge. This perspective flips the traditional narrative, portraying God as a figure who seeks to keep humanity in ignorance. The serpent becomes a symbol of enlightenment, challenging authority to bring about change. This reinterpretation forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. Is blind obedience virtuous, or is the pursuit of knowledge worth the cost? Across cultures, the act of creation often involves a divine struggle. In Norse mythology, the world is formed from the body of Ymir, a primordial giant slain by the gods. In Mesopotamian myths, Tiamat's body becomes the heavens and the earth. Genesis, by contrast, eliminates divine conflict, presenting creation as an act of pure will. This shift reflects a profound theological statement. The God of Genesis is supreme, unchallenged by chaos or rival deities. Yet, the echoes of older myths remain, hinting at a shared cultural heritage. Humanity's creation from clay appears in myths worldwide. In Mesopotamia, the Anunnaki mold humans from clay to serve as laborers. In Greek mythology, Prometheus shapes man from clay and gifts him fire. In Genesis, God breathes life into Adam after forming him from the dust of the earth. This recurring motif reflects a universal fascination with the connection between the divine and the earthly. Clay symbolizes potential, waiting to be shaped by a creator's hands. What sets Genesis apart is the intimacy of this act. God doesn't merely command life, he participates in its creation. The Kabbalistic tradition offers a profound reinterpretation of creation. It suggests that God had to contract his infinite presence, an act known as tzimtzum, to make space for the universe. This act of self-limitation allowed creation to exist independently. Yet, the process was imperfect. Earlier worlds shattered under the weight of divine tension, leaving fragments of light scattered across the cosmos. Humanity's role is to gather these fragments, repairing the universe through acts of goodness, a concept known as tikkun olam. The concept of a fall is not unique to Genesis. In Greek mythology, Prometheus is punished for giving humanity fire, a symbol of knowledge and progress. In Sumerian tales, the gods punish humanity for overreaching. Genesis's expulsion from Eden mirrors this theme, but with a crucial difference. Adam and Eve's punishment is not eternal. Outside Eden, they build a new life, laying the foundation for civilization. This resilience reflects a central truth of creation myths. From every fall comes the potential for growth and renewal. The tree of knowledge symbolizes duality, good and evil, freedom and consequence, ignorance and understanding. By eating its fruit, Adam and Eve embrace the complexity of existence. This act of defiance carries a cost, but it also brings humanity closer to divinity. In knowing good and evil, they become creators in their own right, capable of shaping their world. The tree represents not just temptation, but transformation, a reminder that knowledge is both a burden and a gift. The expulsion from Eden is often framed as humanity's greatest tragedy, but it can also be seen as its most significant opportunity. Inside Eden, Adam and Eve were sheltered, their choices limited by divine boundaries. Outside, they must navigate a world of uncertainty, pain, and labor. Yet this world is also one of infinite possibility. By leaving Eden, they become the architects of their own destinies. This moment captures the essence of human existence, the tension between safety and freedom, between comfort and growth. Lilith's story, though excluded from Genesis, persists in Jewish folklore and mysticism. Created as Adam's equal, she rejects subordination, leaving Eden to find her own path. Later texts vilify her, portraying her as a demon who preys on children. Yet, in modern interpretations, Lilith has been reclaimed as a symbol of empowerment. She challenges the notion that obedience is virtuous and offers an alternative narrative, that independence and self-determination are worth any cost. The serpent's offer of knowledge is often seen as deceitful, but it reflects a deeper truth about human nature. We are drawn to the unknown, compelled to seek answers, even at great risk. The serpent, in this light, is not just a tempter, but a mirror of humanity's own desires. Its role in the story forces us to ask difficult questions. Is ignorance bliss, or is the pursuit of understanding worth the loss of innocence? The act of creation is rarely depicted as perfect in ancient myths. In Norse tradition, the world is born from the chaos of Ymir's body. In Kabbalistic thought, previous worlds were created and destroyed before ours. Genesis 2 hints at imperfection. The earth begins formless and void, and humanity is flawed from the start. These stories remind us that creation is not a single act, but an ongoing process, one that requires effort, resilience, and correction. The role of humans in Genesis is unique among ancient myths. While other traditions often depict humanity as subservient to the gods, Genesis grants humans dominion over earth. This elevation comes with responsibility to steward creation, care for its creatures, and cultivate the land. Yet, as the story unfolds, humanity struggles to live up to this calling. This tension between power and responsibility continues to define our relationship with the natural world. The idea of tikkun olam, or repairing the world, emerges from Kabbalistic teachings. It suggests that creation is incomplete, that humanity's purpose is to gather the scattered fragments of divine light and restore harmony to the cosmos. This concept reframes the human role in creation. We are not just products of divine will, but participants in it. Every act of kindness, every effort to heal the world, is part of this cosmic repair. Creation myths often explore the tension between chaos and order. Genesis simplifies this struggle, presenting God as a singular force imposing order on chaos. Yet, older myths like the Enuma Elish revel in the conflict, where gods battle primordial forces to shape the world. These contrasts highlight different worldviews. One sees chaos as an adversary to be conquered, while the other accepts it as a necessary part of creation. The tree of knowledge and the tree of life are central to the Eden narrative. The former offers understanding, while the latter grants immortality. Humanity is allowed access to neither, yet their presence shapes the story. The denial of these gifts reflects the tension between divine authority and human aspiration. To eat from one tree is to gain wisdom at the cost of paradise. To eat from the other is to remain in paradise, but lose the chance to grow. These trees symbolize the choices we face: comfort or growth, ignorance or knowledge. The expulsion from Eden introduces the concept of exile, a recurring theme in the Bible and human history. From the Israelites' exile in Babylon to the wandering of refugees in modern times, the loss of a homeland carries profound emotional and spiritual weight. Yet, exile also brings transformation. Just as Adam and Eve must build a new life outside Eden, humanity often finds strength and creativity in the face of displacement. Genesis's creation stories are part of a larger tradition of myths that explore humanity's origins and purpose. From the Egyptian tale of Adam rising from chaos to the Sumerian Anunnaki shaping humans from clay, these narratives share common themes: chaos, transformation, and divine intervention. Genesis stands apart in its monotheistic vision, but it is enriched by its connections to these older stories. Together, they form a tapestry of human imagination, reflecting our shared quest for meaning. The story of creation is not a closed book. It is an ongoing narrative, one that humanity continues to shape. Every discovery, every act of creation, every question we ask adds a new chapter. Genesis captures this dynamic spirit, presenting a world that is both complete and incomplete, where humanity's role is to explore, create, and repair. As we look to the future, the question remains: what will we create, and how will we contribute to the unfolding story of the universe?